This morning, I have the privilege of introducing the assembly put together by your Williston Asian peers, with the amazing behind-the-scenes support of our International Student Coordinator, Mr. Simpson, and the Dean of DEIB, Ms. Chambers. In addition, I'm happy to say that the Wu Dan Kung Fu Academy is here to perform 2 demonstrations as part of our morning. Today, the Asian students of Williston would like to share a hugely significant part of their culture, the Spring Festival, or as many Americans know it, the Lunar New Year.
Williston includes students from about 10 different Asian countries. We travel thousands of miles to study, live, and be part of Williston community here in Massachusetts.
This year, the New Year falls on February 17th. 1.5 to 2 billion people observe this holiday across Eastern and Southeastern Asia. In fact, this holiday is recognized as the largest annual human migration in the world, as families travel to reunite during this holiday.
2026 is a year of the fire horse, which represents hard work, speed, intelligence, passion, and high energy.
Different nations celebrate the new year in different ways. Some deck out their homes in red decorations. Others decorate with yellow flowers. Some perform ancestral rituals, and others dance, sing, and play musical instruments.
Hi everyone, I'm happy to introduce the piece that you will hear. It is called 彩云追月, which roughly translates to chasing the moon over colorful clouds. Please welcome Ryan, and I hope you enjoy.
everyone. My name is Tracy,
And I'm Kaylee.
and I'm so excited to be here today represent our Vietnamese group. Today, we're proud to share a small glimpse of how we celebrate Lunar New Year, also known as Tết, the most important holiday in Vietnamese culture. In this performance, we want to show you a short scenes of a Vietnamese family during Tết. Many children, like Isabel, Hugh, Kaylee, and Tony, who study far away from home, return to reunite with their families. Because that is the time for gathering and togetherness, after being apart for a long time, the children are excited to see one another again. So they play traditional games and enjoy their festive atmosphere.
Then Siu, as a security guard, reminds the children to go home to clean and decorate, preparing for Tết. The children then go home to help their parents, Zora and Tracy, with household chores. Nam and Jack, as our grandparents, greet the children and wish them luck by giving them lucky money, a meaningful tradition during Tết. The whole family then gather together to enjoy typical Tết activities such as playing cards and making chung cake, a traditional Vietnamese rice cake. Siu later visit our family to offer New Year wishes to everyone. At midnight, the family prepare for Cúng Giao Thừa, a New Year Eve ritual. This is a special moment when we offer incense, fruits, and traditional food to honor our ancestors and welcome the new year. Exchanging good wishes and giving lucky money are important traditions that symbolize blessings, happiness, and prosperities for the year ahead.
Today is even more special because our Vietnamese seniors, with a row of family guests, will be singing this song on the stage for the very first time. We hope you cheer them on and show your support. Thank you so much, and we hope you enjoy our performance. Chúc mừng năm mới, Happy Lunar New Year!
Ngoài đường đông vui tràn ngập qua những ca xuân năm nay đã hết rồi em ơi. Người người năm cũ qua xuân niềm vui về lắm bên mọi nhà.
Xuân năm nay đến bao nhiêu câu chúc chúc gia đình nhà nhà luôn hạnh phúc. Hoa mai đốt sắc rừng đón xuân hy vọng một năm mới luôn bình an.
Mẹ nấu bánh trưng xanh đàn gió khẽ lay đưa từng tiếng múa lân vần cùng chen tiếng mẹ chưa đàn cháu chú ông bà nhiều sức khỏe vui tươi cùng ngâm thứ đong đầy cùng nhau chào xuân đến bên ta Tết đong đầy
Xuân năm nay vui hơn năm qua.
Tết phục lại về muôn mọi nhà tay trong tay và đêm vui cay đong đầy là cái Tết sum vầy la 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 Tết đong đầy la 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 Tết đong đầy thịt kho việc năm nào nhưng mà không phát ngán thêm bánh trưng món Tết đồ các kiểu quanh xong đừng hỏi tại sao mà quá đáng chú ta bà bê lại đứng lên cô sao ở kế đây nhạc quẩy tưng bừng mà năm cũ đã qua rồi năm mới anh em chúng ta lại lên
Xuân năm nay đến bao nhiêu câu chúc gia đình nhà nhà luôn hạnh phúc. Hoa mai đốt sắc cùng dân hương đón xuân hy vọng một năm mới luôn bình an. Bánh trưng xanh là gió khẽ lay đưa từng tiếng múa ngân vang cùng chen tiếng mê chưa là cho chúc ông bà sức khỏe vui tươi cùng ấm cứ đong đầy cùng nhau chào xuân đến bên ta Tết đong đầy. Xuân năm nay vui hơn năm qua phúc lộc tài trên muôn mọi nhà tay trong tay cái này nó vui ca hạnh phúc đong đầy là cái Tết sum vầy la 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 Tết đong đầy la 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 Tết đong đầy.
Let's give them one more round of applause. So as Mr. Chu referred to, we have a group from Connecticut, the Wudang Kung Fu Academy, and they're coming to present two things. And one of them is called a face change art. And the face change art comes from the Sichuan region of China. And the idea behind it is that each mask represents a different identity, a different emotion. So like loyalty, anger, fear, joy, and trickery. So we're gonna go ahead and watch the face change performance right now.
I'm almost 18. I grew up watching this thing. I still don't know how it works. So let's give another round of applause to this incredible performance. Now, the next performance is a very famous song from China, brought to you by Leo. It is it is also a piece that one of his very close friends taught him, and for that reason, it holds great significance. As the new year approaches, this piece is dedicated to everybody.
Hi, I'm Haruka, a senior from Tokyo, Japan. So before we demonstrate the kite today, I'd like to briefly introduce a Japanese tradition called kite flying, or takoage, and share a bit of its background. Kites have actually been around for a very long time. Records show that they existed as early as around 400 BCE in the West and about 200 BCE in East Asia. In Japan, kites were first introduced from China and later also brought by Indonesian people through the port of Nagasaki. Interestingly, kites in Japan weren't always called tako, which means octopus. They were originally called ika, meaning squid, because their shape and long tails look like one. Kite flying became extremely popular during Edo period, so popular that it was even temporarily banned. But instead of giving up, people simply changed the name, and that's how takoage, or raising octopus, became very common. Traditionally, kites are flown in January, around the beginning of the year. Even though Japan no longer celebrates Lunar New Year, kite flying is still closely connected to new beginning and wishes for the year ahead. In Japanese culture, flying a kite is often seen as a way to send hopes and wishes up into the sky. Families fly kites to wish for good health, happiness, and success, especially for children. This is actually something I've experienced personally. Every year on January 1st, the New Year Day in Japan, my family goes to my grandparents' house on my father's side. We always go to the nearby park and fly a kite together. When I was very young, it was honestly pretty hard. I couldn't keep the kite in the air at all. But after doing it every year, I slowly got better, which makes this tradition even more meaningful to me. Japanese kites are also known for their designs. They often feature traditional symbols like cranes or turtles, which are believed to bring a good luck and long life. With that in mind, we'd like to share this small but meaningful part of Japanese culture with you through our kite demonstration today. And just a small heads up, since we will be flying a kite here in the chapel, you might want to keep eye above you. Thank you.
So, hi, my name is Tuan. I'm a senior from Hanoi, Vietnam. So today I want to tell you about a personal story of mine and a tradition that many Vietnamese families do, and my family included. It's a tradition of, in Vietnamese we call it so nhạc. It's when our family chooses a person that is designed to be lucky for the purpose of going to be the first person to walk to enter our door as a sign of good luck for the entire year. So how does this work? We have two kind of main factors. One is the zodiac sign. As you might see here, the zodiac of Vietnam is a bit different from the usual one, see, as there is a cat in place for a rabbit. So you would choose the zodiac sign. The person would have the zodiac sign assigned at birth for the month that they are born in. They would have the zodiac sign that's compatible with our family. Usually our dad or the main person in our family would be designed to be compatible with. Also, there's all these 5 elements here. You can see there's earth, fire, metal, water, and wood. For example, you wouldn't choose a person that has a water element to go with the fire element. As you may know, it might extinguish the fire. It's just not good. You would choose a person that has the same element or the element that compacts with. That's how you bring good luck to our family. So we would do this once in advance and then have that person to go to be the first in our family to be entering our door. One time I accidentally left my home before the person comes in, and I literally had to stand outside for 2 hours to wait that person to come in. As I was not designed to be a lucky person that year. It's very unfortunate, but my favorite part about this is that when the person comes in, our family gives them a hefty sum of lucky money as a gratitude for the luck that they bring, and usually that person would also gives me the same amount of lucky money. So I ended up having so much money that I don't know where to spend it. At the end, my parents took it from me as they told me that it's an investment for the future and that money is from them anyway, so they get it. And I ended up earning nothing. I share my parents need to do a better job of providing a good present. Thank you.
Alright, can you guys hear me? Alright, I'm in both of these photos, so you guys can look around while I give my speech and try to figure out which one's me. I think it's pretty obvious, the one on the right, but on the left it can be a bit harder. Alright, yeah? Okay. 20 years after declaring independence from colonialism, Indonesia fell under the control of a dictatorship in the late 1960s. Under the new order, the government enacted laws designed to forcibly assimilate ethnic minorities into the larger Indonesian society. This was put in place by forcing surname changes for foreign families, banning unapproved religions, forbidding the use of language, spoken and written, restricting business statutes of foreign migrants, and forbidding celebrating the Lunar New Year. During this time, my family, who immigrated from China, seeking something more, did what they had to do to survive. They changed their surnames, struggled and fought to keep their businesses, didn't speak their home tongue in public, but behind closed doors, they kept their culture alive. They spoke freely, they taught, they learned, they grew, they loved. And through it all, they did it together. At the dawn of the new millennium, the dictator ended, and public restrictions were lifted, and people began to reclaim who they were, celebrating themselves, their experiences, their lives, moving Indonesia closer to the principle it was founded on: unity in diversity. Every year since then, my family has met in the homes of our oldest living relatives, where we don't just celebrate the new year, we celebrate each other, the stories and experiences we have to share. The stories once told by my great-grandfather are now retold by his children, and will one day be mine to pass down to the next generation, to continue to remind us all where we came from, what they went through, and to be proud of it. The Lunar New Year gives us the space to remember and the time to reconnect. Cousins, uncles, aunts, grandmas, grandpas, from all walks of life, all different in age, in experience, even in how much of our culture we keep, how much of our language we carry. Yet every year, we find ourselves sitting at the same table, together, not divided by differences, but united through them. Every time I walk into my great-grandma's home and see the lines of cars just going down the street, I feel like I'm a part of something bigger than myself. Unity is not meant to be uniform. It's supposed to look like this: cousins, aunties, uncles, grandmas, all crammed into a house with too much food, too much stories, but never too little love. That is unity in diversity, and every Lunar New Year, we get to live it. Thank you.
Fireworks are often a big part of the celebration for the Spring Festival. One origin story involves a terrifying monster that would invade villages, leaving destruction and misery in its wake.
The monster for the New Year still arises, and it honors no boundaries or country or culture.
It is fear and anxiety,
And jealousy and feelings of inadequacy.
and regret and anger,
And hatred. Perhaps this monster has already begun to dig in its claw here at Williston.
but the villagers discovered that the united voices of the village in flashes of color and aligned stance would send the monster fleeing.
Here at Wilson, we each have voices that can be united.
We each have talent and value that shine a bright light into the darkness against the monster.
Let us usher in the new year by uniting today and promising ourselves to not hide our talents but to bring them forth. Will you help us have the best year ever? On the count of 3, to send the monster flee. Let's yell and shout as loud as we can. 1, 2, 3.
All right, next we're going to have what's called a lion dance. The lion dance is a traditional Chinese performance where dancers animate a lion's costume in music in order to bring luck, protection, and celebration. The two best forms are the southern lion that is expressive and symbolic, and the northern lion that is more acrobatic and playful.
Descendants of the Dragons. So today we are going to perform a song called Descendants of the Dragons.
Since it's the Since it's the last program, we would like to thank Mr. Chu for everything he's done for us.
Thank you so much for celebrating the new year with us. Could we give another round of applause to the Wu Dang Kung Fu Academy, please? Could we also have a round of applause for your international Williston students?
We will continue our celebration this coming Tuesday, at an informal community life dinner. The stage staff and suggestions from the Asian students combined, we have prepared a special meal for you. In addition, we have 2 Korean performers on campus this Tuesday in the PA room, right next to the dining commons. One will be playing a gaye-gam, a traditional Korean stringed instrument, and the other will be singing. Please drop by the PA room before or after you eat to experience the music performance. Thank you very much for being here today, and I think Mr. Chu deserves a massive thank you and a round of applause. Have a good day.